What's up, witches? I'm Allie the Bronx Witch. Welcome to my channel where you are the magic and where I talk about Wicca, the religion, witchcraft, the practice, and I do weekly tarot videos. And in my weekly tarot videos lately, you guys have been asking me to talk a little bit about tarot in general and maybe give you some information to help you out if you are starting a tarot journey or are interested in learning more about it. When I call these things myths, bear in mind that I understand that in different traditions or different communities or different schools of thought, these things might not be myths at all. They might be absolute truths. So the first myth I want to address is the one that you have probably all seen or heard at this point. And this is that you cannot buy your first deck. I don't know when this myth started. It seems like maybe about 5 years or so, I started hearing it repeated more and more frequently. Previous to 5 years ago, I never heard anyone say this. No one. I think that this has to do with an Italian magic thing that says that you get good luck if somebody gives you your first deck. Like if you get your first deck as a gift, then it's a sign of like extra good luck. But I don't know if it's bad luck in the reverse in Italian folklore. Someone can elaborate on that, but I think that's where this comes from, this idea that it's good luck to be gifted a deck and bad luck not to be gifted a deck. So that's where we've gotten this myth that that you can't buy your own deck. Now, there may be tarot reading communities or spiritual communities that read tarot that absolutely, truly, firmly hold that you must be gifted your first deck. But just generally speaking, in terms of the history of the tarot deck, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, or the history of tarot reading, this is not a general principle that readers adhere by. Plenty of excellent readers, myself included, purchased their first decks. Myth number 2 is that you can learn to read tarot in a few hours or in the course of a day. I see a lot of videos like this on YouTube mostly, and I'm sure that you guys do as well. Some of them made by, professional readers who I respect. And, no shade to them. I understand what many of them are trying to do, which is to make tarot feel easily digestible and to kind of take away some of the scariness of getting started, or that overwhelmed or intimidating feeling about all the suits and the symbols and the meanings and the all of that. And I'm with them in that regard. I too want everyone to understand that tarot is not scary, it's not intimidating, or well, it doesn't have to be intimidating or overwhelming. But I think what confuses folks, especially folks who already don't understand what powerful spiritual experience reading tarot is it allows and it fosters this belief that what we do when we read tarot is something that's like a circus trick, that you just have to kind of crack it or hack it or figure out the system, and then you'll be good to go. And it diminishes in many ways what it is that we do. The third myth is that you should just choose whatever deck speaks to you, find some pretty pictures or something that reminds you of something that you like, and just go with the deck that speaks to you. And I encourage you to please check out my tarot tips video. I'll link it above because I go into depth about how you should go about choosing your deck based on what your goal is overall for tarot reading. Whether you're just trying to develop a relationship with spirit and this is really just about your own spiritual path, or whether you're trying to do readings for others and maybe even become a professional tarot reader. Based on those two goals really determines how you should go about choosing your first deck. If you are reading for others, or you want to read for others, you want to learn tarot in sort of an academic way, you want to learn the deeper esoteric meanings, the meanings behind the symbolism, etc., then you are going to 100% want to start off with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Okay, and again, in my tip video, I talk at length about why that is. Just know that that is my recommendation, and I feel that very strongly. But if you are looking to incorporate tarot into your spiritual journey in a way that's personal, and you're not necessarily concerned about a deep understanding of tarot as a whole, as a form of divination, or reading for others, then you have a little bit more leeway in terms of what type of a deck you can get for yourself. If you fall into this category, then you can choose a deck that speaks to you based on its imagery, and that is not the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. But I recommend that you choose a deck that still follows the Rider-Waite-Smith system. So by that I mean, I recommend you choose a deck that is still 78 cards, major and minor arcana, 22 major, 56 minor. The minor arcana are divided into 4 suits, all of that. So the images might be different from the traditional deck, but the general layout of the deck is the same, and the general meanings of the cards are also, or energies of the cards are generally the same. The fourth myth that I want to address is that tarot cards, or divination in general, tells the future. So this one is kind of a yes or no, and it does vary based on the different types of different divination and the different traditions and what they say that use of divination is for. But when it comes to tarot, the general understanding is that while tarot cards can let you know future projections of how situations are going to turn out or what is to come, those projections are based on the energies that are happening right now. So while the future projection that you are able to discern from your card is accurate, it's not accurate if anything changes. We have free will, and so we are able to control our lives, to a great extent. So we are able to change those outcomes, and everything that we do, butterfly effect, every change that we make right now changes what's going to happen in the future. And then the fifth myth that I'll address in this video is that no one can touch your cards. I don't really know where this one comes from necessarily. I know for me, it's actually really great for me to have a person that I'm reading for touch the cards. Digital readings are something that I've had to get used to in this day and age, especially now in COVID, but even before COVID, I was doing, FaceTime and digital readings. So I had to get used to people not actually interacting with the cards. But my preference is to give readings in person and to allow you to, at the very least, cut the cards for yourself. Many readers feel that it's helpful to have your energetic frequency mix with mine as I try to receive information that applies not to me, but to you. At the most, if you feel that someone else's interaction with the cards has created kind of a heavy weight around them, or you just feel like the energy of that person is still lingering around, then certainly cleanse your cards in any way that makes sense to you. But you don't need to worry that you've done something wrong by letting someone else touch your cards. So witches, I really hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, definitely go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, just leave them for me down below. And of course, subscribe. Click on the bell button so you're notified every time a new video comes out. You can follow me on Instagram @BronxWitch, and I will see you in the next video. Blessed be.